The Digestive System by Eddie Parker.
Thank you, Lauren. So I am here today reporting from the Wolf Norton lab here in Brighton about their new findings on the digestive system. I think I see one here. So today we're going to be looking at what actually happens inside of this majestic model. Here we have Doug. Doug is today feeling a tiny bit hungry, so we are going to feed him some bread. First things that happen in the digestive system happens in the mouth. The food gets put in, and first it's getting tasted by the tongue. The tongue then decides whether it wants to ingest this food or rather leave it for the dog. The food goes in and Doug starts to chew. At the same time as chewing, his tongue is sending signals to the rest of his body to start releasing digestive juices. The teeth then carry on mechanically breaking down the food, whilst the salivary glands start producing amylase, which breaks down carbohydrates. Doug slowly finishes the food. He enjoyed it. Doug has now finished eating his food and has swallowed it. It has landed in the esophagus. Let's see what happens next. In the esophagus, the food is now a small lump. The esophagus uses a movement called peristalsis to push the food down into the stomach. The food is pushed using the peristalsis and moves at a decent speed. Fun fact, everything goes down the esophagus. Food, drink, and even soup. So now, after a bit of peristalsis, the food is about to start entering the stomach. Oh, there we go. The food has now entered the stomach, where it has been met by a large pool of hydrochloric acid. Real hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid contains protease, which breaks down the proteins inside the bread. The stomach is surrounded by muscle tissue, which churns the food up and down to break it down quicker. It is then passed from the stomach down into the duodenum. And now we'll look at the bile coming through from the gallbladder into the small intestine. The bile contains an enzyme which breaks down fats. It is called lipase. The pancreas releases enzymes such as protease, amylase and lipase into the small intestine. The food is now put into the small intestine where the nutrients will be absorbed. The food has been mixed with the bile and the enzymes and is now in the small intestine. The small intestine is 7 to 8 meters long and has villi which absorb the nutrients. The villi is shaped like this, so that it has a larger surface area. This means that it can absorb more nutrients per square centimetre. This process is aided by billions of bacteria called gut or intestinal flora. The food then enters the large intestine. Inside the large intestine, water, vitamins and minerals are absorbed. In all the intestines, the food is moved along also by peristalsis, just like in the esophagus, like we saw earlier. After the large intestine, the food is then pushed into the rectum. In the rectum is where the feces is stored. When the human body feels like it is right to excrete, the sphincter muscle releases and the food in feces form simply comes out. Voila! And that, my friends, is the digestive system. Thank you, and back to you, Megan.